everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and today I am here with you with the mid-year book freakout tag, which Molly of the Reading Hour very kindly tagged me in. And I took her idea one step further because her title was the mid-year book freakout tag, but keep it chill. So I took that one step further and said, well, that's the kind of energy I'm trying to bring to my entire life. So we are going to be having a chill little slumber party. I am quite literally trying to keep cool. So I just had a cool shower. I'm in nice fresh pajamas. It is finally not horrible and humid. And I'm going to be speaking to you today about all the books and all of the things. And yes, the crows are still very active in my yard. Please ignore them if you can hear them. So question number one is the best book you've read so far in 2025. And for this, I'm just going to run through a quick list. If you want to find out more particulars, they will be linked down below, and you can check out any of my previous wrap-ups from this year. But they were The Eustace Diamonds by Anthony Trollope, The Radio Hour by Victoria Perman, Rizzio by Denise Mina, The Empire and A Backstage Betrayal, both by Michael Ball, Misdirected by Lucy Parker, Tears of the Wolf by Elizabeth Wheatley, If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin, The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas, Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson, Whiskey Business by Elliot Fletcher, and 1536 by Ava Pickett. Question number two, the best sequel you've read so far. I haven't been keeping track of exactly how many sequels I've read this year, but the one that stands out to me is The Shadow Cabinet by Juno Dawson, sequel to Her Majesty's Royal Coven, which you saw a moment ago. I'm only 2/3 of the way through it, and it is just as fantastic as the first one, if not slightly better. It is incredible. A new release you haven't read yet but want to, and for that I would have to say The Last Nevermore book, which I think is Silverborn by Jessica Townsend, and it is on its way to me. I will have it in a little bit, and I cannot wait to read that one. Most anticipated releases for the second half of the year. I actually have two this year. Usually I'm not very good about keeping up with new releases, but I actually do have two. One is Human Rights by Juno Dawson, being the third, yes, technically the third book in the Her Majesty's Royal Coven series. I believe that's coming out in August in the US on audiobook. And I'm also looking forward to Introducing Mrs. Collins by Rachel Parris. Rachel Parris was, and sometimes still is, a member of Ostentatious, the Austin-themed improv troupe in Britain, and she has written her, well, I don't want to say her debut novel, but I suppose it is her debut novel. The last book she wrote was nonfiction. Anyway, it's a novel about Charlotte Lucas as Mrs. Collins, and I can't wait to see her take on that. Your biggest disappointment of the year so far. And this is a complicated one, and I haven't spoken about it much on my channel yet because I only just read it, but I was very disappointed by Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. I know it's a very polarizing book, and it's becoming more and more polarizing as we speak, so I thought it would at least be a little bit of book candy, maybe not my favorite, but glad to know what the hype was about. And I so did not enjoy it. Stick around for my July wrap-up to find out exactly why, but it was just dreadful. For my biggest surprise of the year, I actually have two books, but they were surprises to me for the same reason. And the first was the Empire series by Michael Ball and One Enchanted Evening by Anton Dubeck. Now, if you're in the UK, you will know that those are both celebrity rights, and I like both the celebrities in question. And so when I found out that they had written books, I was really intrigued, and a lot of me was very excited and very hopeful, but there is that tiny voice in the back of my head that goes, but what if it's not good? And I was really scared by that, but I thought, you know what, they'll probably be fine. There'll be a bit of fun. But no, they are very well written and incredibly engaging, and multiple people that I know have since loved them. So that was a delightful surprise. For my favorite new author, though, it has to go to Juno Dawson. I've mentioned multiple books by her in this video alone. Her writing is incredible. Nothing fancy in terms of her verbiage or her wording, but it is powerful and just stunningly crafted and so human and so deep. It is just so moving. I adore her writing. As per usual, I do not have a new fictional crush. Mr. Tilney and Knightley remain my number ones. For my newest favorite character, I would honestly say Everyone at the Empire by Michael Ball, but in particular Stella. It's a very warm and lovely cast of characters that you get to know and love really quite quickly. But I particularly love Stella because I listened to the audiobooks, and if you get the chance, you should definitely do that as well, because Michael Ball narrates them himself. And what he did for Stella was he gave her this laugh that is absolutely iconic, and being a connoisseur of Radio 2 presenters, I immediately understood where that came from when I first heard him do it, because he based that laugh on Elaine Page's laugh. And that just tickled me so much, and I would hope that Elaine Page rather liked that he did that as well. And as per usual, no books made me cry. I remain a hard-hearted reader. As to books that made me happy, I would refer you back to most of my 5-star reads. Obviously, there are those about racial injustice and murders that are not really happy. But the reading experience was really wonderful, and that memory makes me feel happy. And the rest of them that do not involve such dark themes are also quite cozy and fabulous. For the most beautiful book that you've bought or received this year, I think that has to go to The Agency for Scandal by Laura Wood, because once again, look at that spine. That is stunning, and I love it, and I cannot wait to have all three next to each other. I think that would just look so gorgeous. As to what books I hope to read by the end of the year, I'm honestly not sure. My August reading is completely up in the air at the moment. I have a few books picked out for September, and I've already started mentally looking at what I might want to read for Victober. I know it's a long way out, but I picked up a load of wonderful, rare Victorian novels on my travels in the spring, which I hope to tell you about in a book haul in a few weeks. So I've been looking at those and thinking, oh, I definitely want to work in at least one other trollop, maybe a couple. Maybe I want to work in a Hardy novel as well. Maybe I'm gonna get brave enough to try Dracula in Victober if it fits a prompt. I don't know. We'll find out, but these are things that I'm turning over in my mind at least. And finally, tag some others. This is where I usually chicken out, but I have selected a variety of you. As per usual, feel no pressure to do this if you just don't have time or if you've already done a video that's kind of similar. But for the purposes of tagging, I would like to include Marissa of Blatantly Bookish, Megan of Megan Joyce, who also happens to be my cousin, will have a podcast-like episode coming out end of this month, I believe. Carla of Carla Loves to Read, Izzy of Izzy Meekin, maybe, if you're feeling up to it. maybe Risha, maybe Claire of Claire Fenby Warren. I know a lot of you are incredibly busy, so as I said, no pressure, but please do think about it. As per usual, leave me all of your thoughts and your favorite reads down in the comments, and until next time, be safe, be well, and happy reading. Bye everyone.